Hello, welcome to TFS Insider, Episode 3. I'm Chloe,
And I'm Anjali.
and today we are welcoming our special guests, the Outreach Producers.
Yay, we're happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. We're so excited.
My name's Owen. I'm one of the outreach producers, obviously. My major is in apparel merchandising and design, more specifically creative and technical design. I'm a senior, and I've been involved with the fashion show for 3 years since my sophomore year. And I've also been involved with trend, and yeah, those are like my two main campus involvements that I've been with. So
And my name's Becca. I'm the other outreach producer. I am a senior in apparel merchandising and design with a concentration in fashion communications. I also have 2 minors in sustainability and fashion culture, history, and social justice, which is always a mouthful. I actually work at the museum on campus, so right now I'm doing research for an exhibition, which has been really fun. And yeah, I've been involved in the fashion show since freshman year and trend and a mix of other fun things on campus. So yeah, glad to be here today.
it's way more interesting than my intro.
Do you guys want to talk about what committees and director roles you've had before leading up to the Outreach Producers?
Yeah.
You can go.
Freshman year, I was on the social media committee. Sophomore year, I was a philanthropy director, and then last year, Owen and I actually together were special events directors. So kind of like a weird variety of things, I feel like, but it's been fun because I got to do a lot of different things.
Yeah. I missed the ball my freshman year because I was coming from over 1,000 miles away, so I did not get the hint on that one. But my sophomore year, I was a gallery and display director, now visual merchandising, and then last year, like Becca said, we were special events directors together. So yeah.
It's really cool.
So, do you want to talk about what you do as outreach producers and why you want it to be outreach producers or just producers for the fashion show in general?
Yeah. Yeah, I can take it first. We kind of have like 3 main overarching tasks that we do as outreach producers. One of that is our Fund ISU campaign, making sure that's all set up, making sure we're advertising and doing that to the best of our abilities, and everything that comes along with that, like the incentive prizes and talking to donors and stuff like that.
Fund
And
ISU is our fundraising platform.
I said that.
You said Fund ISU.
I said fundraising, I thought. I don't know.
Wait, should
They
we
can
redo
fact
it?
check. No, keep it rolling. And then our second task, oh my gosh, is the guest designer, or now what we have tried to bring it to into this year is guest company, I guess we could say, just because we felt that kind of gave a better branding to it, specifically with how we wanted things to go at the fashion show, especially. I think they started that last year. I think they started
Yeah.
calling it guest company, and we decided just to kind of like bring it into that.
Yeah, because it's not just the designer anymore. It's like a bunch of representatives from the company.
Yeah.
So
And then also going into that is what we're both wearing is the merch. So kind of in charge of working with our art committee and helping to design that. They do all of the graphic stuff, obviously, except I made the graphic for the I Heart TFS shirt. But when it comes to like the theme stuff, they did all of the graphics and stuff like that. But we worked with them to create our merch line and kind of create an assortment that we felt encapsulated the theme and we felt proud of this year. So yeah.
Speaking of Fund ISU, we hit a record-breaking number of, is it $44,000?
44.
yeah,
44,000
44,422.
422.
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I think.
44422.
Yeah, so like $9,000 above our goal, which is crazy. So to anyone listening who donated, thank you so much.
I don't even know.
I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was weird. Like, obviously, we had goals coming into the year,
yeah.
but I think if you were to ask us how much we thought we were going to go over our goal or how much we would like to go over our goal, I don't even know. I mean, obviously, I would have said like a lot, but I don't know if I would have been able to like say like almost
Yeah.
$10,000 over our goal.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
And
I
I
don't
guess
know.
we got the most gifts ever fundraised to fund ISU campaign at Iowa State. So like the most donors. I think it was 445,
Yeah,
I think.
that sounds right.
So yeah, a lot of people.
Because the original goal was $35,000, and we hit that a week before the campaign.
Yeah.
Pretty much like 6
yeah,
days before
yeah.
the campaign ended. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't feel like there was. I don't know how to explain like the feeling of it.
Excitement.
It's a crazy
Just
number.
excitement.
But it was like a weird feeling
Achievement.
because like because we hit 35,000 again when there's like 6 days left.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really like set in that we had hit our goal, I feel like, until the last day because we still had like 6 days to go.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, everyone did a great job.
Do you have any opinions or like thoughts of how we reached that number? Like, what was the difference between last year and this year, do you think?
Like any like hypotheses or
Yeah.
something? I think this year we have more people in the fashion show than we've had before. I think.
I think so.
I don't know. I feel like people have been really engaged this year. Like, I think COVID kind of like, slowed the number of like people who were doing the fashion show, and slowly it's been like gaining traction again. And we had so many applications this year that were like, oh, like I've heard of the fashion show within the past couple of years, and I finally want to do it. And like we had like just a lot of like engagement with the show, and so I feel like the people who like are on our committees and our director teams this year are like they're the ones who are like really invested and like really want to be part of TFS. So I don't know. I feel like people are just like internally motivated. I also kind of hope it was like Owen and I being trying to encourage people and like telling them what we've done in the past to help fundraise. But yeah, I think it's just been like a mix of things.
I think it's also like it's kind of going off of what Becca said as well is like when we were talking to Sarah after we hit like 35,000, it was like it was weird because like obviously Becca and I aren't the ones getting like $10,000 in donors and stuff like that. Like we try to get as much as we can, but we're not getting like $10,000 each in donations. So when we were talking to Sarah about things, we were like, we want to like be able to give ourselves some credit for the things that we do, but we know like a lot of that obviously like we can talk about it as much as we want, but most of the credit doesn't even go on us because we can talk about it as much as we want, but that doesn't mean people want to do it.
Yeah.
So like it actually is because of people taking action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think we also like, and this is, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I think we had our involvement percentage out of like everybody in TFS that is involved. I think we actually had, it was, and this isn't a negative thing, but it was slightly lower than last year, I think.
Participation.
Yeah, like percentage out of everybody, which that might be because we had a larger sum of people this year. But it was, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we also did a decent job of like acknowledging that like money is such a weird topic, especially for college students. Like most of us are scraping by, and so it's like I think like you especially, Owen, like I remember one class was just like we're very clear about like we understand this is kind of an uncomfortable thing to ask your friends and family for money for this random organization that they might not know about, and so like I feel like creating that like safer space around that topic is also really helpful.
I mean, because even for like us, like I waited until like the last week to text my hometown group, my hometown friends, of like, will you donate?
Awkward.
Because like even though I've known them for 18 years, like I was still like, I don't really know if I can ask you guys for money because you're also in college and doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
so
my friend's like, I have $5. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, fund ISU.
Hey, there we go.
So what made you guys like want to be the producers, or like more specifically, like why the outreach producer versus like managerial for you guys?
You can take that because you kind of have an interesting take.
Yeah, well, I actually like initially applied for managerial because I thought I would be good at that. And then I got outreach, and now that I'm outreach, I'm like, oh yeah, this like actually makes a lot more sense. But initially I just liked both positions. But now that I'm like in the position, I like the kind of like, is this a word, fluidity of of the
Yeah.
position? Like there's just a lot of like different there's just like it's very random, the chain of events, which has been kind of a good challenge because I'm kind of a person who's like, I need to know the schedule of this 2 weeks in advance. Like I feel like Owen can attest, especially for special events. I'd be like, is this like we need to contact this person and this needs to be 2 weeks out and blah blah blah. And like now being in a position where, especially with guest designer, for example, you can't just count on someone to respond. Oh, respond by this day. Like it's a process that you just have to like trust. And so I feel like it's been a good like challenge to have a position that's more fluid and also like I don't know. It's also different because you're not talking to the committees and the directors, which can be sad sometimes. But I feel like we've still made an effort to like connect with committees and yeah, I don't know. It's been an interesting and fun position to be in.
Yeah. I was the opposite of like I knew I wanted to be
Owen-
outreach going
Owen
in.
was ready.
And I think a lot of people think that people want to do outreach just for like the thrill of like doing guest designer stuff.
Yeah,
And I
like
I don't
networking.
blame anybody for that because like it is a fun part, like it is a really fun part, stressful but fun part of it. But I think for outreach, it was more about like being able to help the fashion show grow. I feel like because like being from a town of 600 people in the middle of nowhere in Vermont, community is something that like is really important to me. And freshman year definitely, especially like first semester, definitely struggled finding at Iowa State just because my cousin goes here and I have my grandparents here, but that's about like I didn't have any friends here pretty much. And that sounds sad to say. That sounds really. I apologize for that one. That didn't mean to come across so sad. But like freshman year, I had trouble finding like a friend support system, and then like jumping into sophomore year when I figured out about like I attended the fashion show my freshman year, but I wasn't in it, and then sophomore year, I like knew I wanted to be in it, and finding that community and finding those people that like actually cared not exactly, but cared about the same things that I did. Like I've grown to love it so much, and I think for me for outreach it was finding a position that would allow me to help build the fashion show and grow the fashion show as much as I think it deserves to. And I don't know, that's what I love about it. Obviously like it's fun, and like from my designer side, it's also like designing the merch is fun, and just like working with the art team
Yeah.
about that is fun. And I do like, oh, I just hit it. Hopefully that wasn't a loud bang. I get what Becca's saying where it's like it's sad sometimes because you don't get to interact with the committees as much.
Mhm.
But I think it's also nice because at this point when we are both seniors, we know so many people in the fashion show, and also we've had so many committee members that come back to the fashion show after and are now
Yeah.
directors. Shout out to Autumn and Eden and Allie, and I'm missing some people, but
There's too many.
yeah. But it's nice because like we have those committee members that have come back and have become directors and are still committee members and stuff like that. So it's nice because even though we don't get to interact with them as much as managerial, obviously, it's nice because we still know those people and we can still have like friendly conversations and still get to interact with them in the class. So
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like the fashion show, especially it's a class. You're seeing people every single week. You are building friends and a community. And I felt that a lot last year too, which is like the main reason I wanted to come back.
Yeah.
So I really relate to what you're saying.
and
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard kind of with a class this big. Like you think of like a normal lecture hall where it's like a design class or something like that, where it's like an intro design class and it's like 200 people sitting in an auditorium. Like you're going to be very reserved and you're not going to really get to know many people. And I feel like with the fashion show, at least we try to get it to a point where everybody can kind of like mesh and get to know everybody. And obviously with 2 snow days on 2 Wednesdays, which doesn't help, we've kind of not been able to do as many like relationship building tasks as we've wanted, not tasks, but games and stuff like that as we wanted to. But we still try and like make it known that like you can talk to anybody in the fashion show and like you can go up to set design and just ask them questions or get to know committee members and just like try and mesh people together. Because if you're just sitting within your committee every single week, it doesn't come across as, I don't know.
Yeah.
We want people to get to know each other.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's why it's important. Like if you start the fashion show freshman year or something like I did, that you know that you're like a part of that community for the rest of your 4 years. Because like freshman year, I was so shy on on my committee, and I didn't really connect with many people. And then sophomore year, something like clicked, and I just immediately like made so many friends. And I'm like, oh, it just took one more year of being in this organization, and now I'm like, I know everyone. So like, it's a fun organization to like do throughout your entire college career.
Yeah. That's very true. Like,
sorry, I know
That's
we went
like-
on a ramble there.
No, that's
about
like
why we
very
wanted to
true.
be
Like I
outreach, but-
remember like when I was a community member for marketing, I know it was like a brand new. We like everyone was kind of like we don't know what's going on, but like I was so like shy, quiet, and like I only made like one friend out of like the 5 people in my committee. And so I was just like, wow, like and then it took another year and it's like, okay, confidence, social interaction,
Yeah.
all that happened.
Yeah.
It takes a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a director my freshman year for Trend, which by the way, I did not deserve that. I appreciate it 100%, but I was like second semester freshman year, and I think I meant to apply for a committee member position. I got a director position. So thank you, Trend, but I didn't deserve that. But I like luckily then had the opportunity to like, I don't know, my co-director was Trinity here, and she helped me kind of push me out of my comfort zone, but it was kind of the same way in that student organization my freshman year where like, even though I was like in a leadership position, I was still freshman and I was still like shy and figuring out how to like find my own style and who I was. So I definitely like get that side of it too.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
It's interesting because like freshman year, I like saw the producers and I thought that seems so difficult and anxiety inducing. I don't think I would want to do that. And then like, because I know like you and like Maddie Roberts like have just dreamed of being a producer, and I kind of wasn't that way at first. Like the first year and a half of me being in TFS, because I just like was afraid of public speaking and just being in front of the class. And then like as college went on, I was like, oh wait, this actually seems really, really cool. And like I got over that like hump of being like, oh, this seems like a really challenging thing. And it seemed like a lot of work, but now I'm realizing that like it's fun work. And I realized that like 2 years ago. And I don't know. It's just interesting how people like view the positions and stuff.
Yeah.
Going a little bit back on like finding like the guest company, like what is that process and like how does it look like? I know like a lot of people were asking like, oh, like who's the guest company, but like we kind of like want you guys to like explain like how difficult that process may be, so our viewers can like be like more like let's not ask them this many questions about the
Yeah.
guest company.
I
yeah,
think-
I guess.
Well, I think that was also something that we kind of wanted to, not like act like we weren't like, well, we're going to talk about this even if they don't like, but it
Just
is
give
something.
some transparency to
Yeah.
the process.
Of like, I think at the beginning of the fall semester when we first come in to our meetings with Sarah, our weekly meetings with Sarah and the other producers, when we get into like our just outreach meetings with Sarah, we talk about other things obviously, but with guest company, it's kind of she had us create a list of all of the brands and stuff like that we would want to work with. And we didn't right from that week start reaching out to people because we wanted to kind of tailor it down. Excuse me. Hopefully the mic didn't pick that up. But she had us create a list of the brands that we wanted to work with.
And rank them.
And give reasoning behind that of why we wanted to work with those brands.
And are
not
there
just
any
kind of like
alumni at the brands? And
exactly like give those reasonings behind it and actually think about it. So it's not like we were coming in like willy-nilly, like let's get Dior, like let's do that. So I think that helped a lot coming into the process. But I don't know. Do you want to keep going on that?
yeah, and then once you kind of decide like which brand you want to start with, you go for it. Usually, it's helpful to find an ISU alumni at the brand. Like it's not always the case, but usually if there's an ICU alumni at the brand, it's like they want to come back to campus and do this for us. So it's kind of just a game of like we send them the pitch. So we make like a pitch deck kind of branded towards them and also towards TFS and telling them, what's the opportunity here and like how can this help both our organization and your company and what is TFS and everything like that. It gets sent out to a representative from their company. And then like oftentimes it'll be them being like, okay, I need to talk to this team or whatever. We found that like for some reason the brand marketing team is always the final say in this scenario. I don't like, okay, cool. It's not the designers, it's the brand marketing team, but whatever.
Yeah.
But and then you get a rejection and you do the next one. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we want to say how many like unofficial or official slide
We'll
decks?
get to that. But I
Okay.
think one of the I think the hard part, I mean, there's a couple hard parts, but like one of them is how long. I don't think brands really get our timeline. Like at the end of our pitch deck, we always put like contact us with any questions. Please get back to us by this date, depending on when we reach out to them. We usually give them like a 2-week like date to give us like an answer by, or hopefully give us like some better information by of like, oh, we might want to do this. And I think even though we put that on the slide deck and they obviously see it, I don't think brands really know, process how much of a timeline that actually is for us, if that makes sense. Like, we need to know if you want to do this or not because we need to reach out to the next company if you're just going to like say no in 2 weeks or like or lead us on for 4 weeks and then just say no out of the blue. Excuse me. And I think that's a hard part is like they don't really, not that they don't respect it because I know that they get some portion of it, but it's hard when they don't. No, not like this. It's hard when they don't like. It's. I'm gonna keep hitting that mic. It's hard when they don't. I don't know. Like, don't really get our timeline and how much we need them to get back to us at a certain point, if that makes sense.
It's also difficult, like being from like Iowa State. I think a lot of companies don't realize how big our fashion program is and and the fashion show is, and so they like see our email, even if it's an alumni. Like maybe they weren't as involved in the fashion show when they were at Iowa State, and so they'll see our pitch deck and be like, maybe, and then it gets circled to, and then it's just kind of a waiting game as they circle it through their teams, and then we're just kind of sitting here like, this is really important to us. Please respond.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we started pitching August or September.
Second week into the
like
semester,
the second week of
or
school.
second or third week.
And we got our confirmed company yesterday. So
Not yesterday.
What wasn't it yesterday?
Wednesday. Wait,
Yesterday
Wednesday was yesterday.
Wednesday.
Oh gosh.
So that's how many months? September, October, November, December, January, February.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I
6
guess
months,
we
like
can
half a year.
Yeah.
It took a little under half a year
Yeah.
to secure this.
And this has also been something we've both been thinking about since like throughout the summer. Of like, I know I was a little more anal about it and definitely bugged Becca a little bit more about it than I should have during the summer. But I was thinking about this like nonstop during the summer of like brands we can reach out to. And it's also like, it kind of is like, we talked about this with like other people sometimes too, of like the kind of fake it till you make it mentality of like, because, and this isn't meant to sound depressing or anyway, but it is like demoralizing sometimes when you get these denials and it's like the fifth one and you're like, what are we doing here?
There was one where like, if you don't mind me exposing you a little bit, Owen, like there was one that we were, there was one we were really upset about, and we showed up to a meeting and I didn't even recognize Owen. He was like standing in the corner with his hood and sunglasses on, and I was like, are you okay? And he was like,
did not want to show up that day.
It can be hard to like get rejected, especially when you communicate them with them for over 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then it's just like, sorry, it's just not going to work out, and it's like, shoot. But
when it does, it's the best feeling in the world. Like, I can say that now from experience.
Yeah.
Of like, And I think it's also going back to what Becca said about it you want to find that person that like is willing to like fight for you at the company. And like Becca said, and like we were told at the beginning of the semester, usually that is Iowa State alumni, because we reach out to people that have been in the fashion show and want to do that. I keep hitting the mic. And like that people have been in the fashion show know how important it is and want to help out and come back to campus and stuff like that. But sometimes it's also like reaching out to your personal connections. And if you have somebody that is a good friend of yours or is a family friend or something like that, that might also work out better than an ISU connection ever could. So it's really just finding that person that knows how much you care about it or they think you care about it, and finding that person and helping them kind of lead the way within the company. Because that's the kind of like, because we can't do anything. We're sitting here in Ames, and we like if we're reaching out to a company in like LA or New York, like we're not going to fly, like we can't fly there and like talk to the company ourselves. So like we kind of have to trust that this person is making sufficient headway within the company and doing it justice in the way that they're pitching it to people, if that makes sense. Like we don't know what they're saying internally to try and make this happen. We don't know if it's just like sending one email to the HR department of doom. And like just leaving it at that, or we don't know if it's like actively talking to like the design team and the marketing team every single day. So it kind of is like a hit or miss with people sometimes. So
Do you think I can say the unofficial like number of people we asked? Like unofficial?
let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
There's just a lot.
It's a lot.
You can cut that out.
After half a year of doing pitches, you can kind of guess.
Yeah.
People can pontificate on that one. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. So you are only sending one pitch deck at a time,
Yeah.
and then just waiting for them to respond.
At the beginning, yes. And then once it started, like a couple months or a few months in when we weren't getting traction, it started to be more like reaching out to the representative or like alumni that we thought would be good to reach out to, like on LinkedIn or email, and saying, hey, is this a possibility for your company, do you think? If so, we'll send you the pitch deck. And it, like, within the past couple of months, it was more common for us to like have multiple offers out, especially within like the last month of us just being like, is this a possibility? Not saying it's going to happen, but we quickly realized that we needed to like get some
Feelers.
get some feelers from some people before like, and not just wait to hear from whoever we were talking to.
Because at the beginning, it's fine to have just one out every couple weeks because you're just starting it. But the nervous game of it all is, what am I trying to say here? Is like communicating with companies like 2 at a time or 3 at a time. You don't want to get into a bad situation of like all 3 people are like, yeah, let's do it. And then you're like, which one do we pick? And then we don't want to ruin ties with this other brand. So that's where it gets
for the
tricky.
next year.
Exactly. Or
You
like
always have to
any
think about
previous
next
year.
year.
So
Yeah.
like that's the tricky part of reaching out to multiple brands at a time. But also we realized at some point that like if we're upfront about it and we're like, hey, we are communicating with multiple people at once, then it makes it a little bit easier to do multiple at a time. So, yeah.
What has been like your favorite part, or like what's your favorite memory of like either like your position right now or just TFS in general?
That's really hard.
I think that's a good question. I would say up until this past year when we found out that we were producers, I think gallery and display my freshman year, sophomore year, I had 2 really great co-directors, Eden Olvera and Brindy Arredondo, and I think we got really close creating all the displays and stuff like that, and spent a lot of time creating these things together because we wanted to make it really good. Voice crack, damn it. And I think like that fashion week when we went into Stevens to do the mounted displays and the mounted exhibition, that was a lot of fun because we were just like not sitting, but I'll just say it for the sake of me not knowing any other words to put there. But like we were just sitting in Stevens doing this mounted display, and it was just like quiet, and nobody was there, and it was just us kind of creating these mounted displays, and it was like that first kind of moment of like, oh, we're really getting close to this, and like this is really amping up. But also, it's like I wouldn't change those moments for the world because it was just kind of like us three after obviously our committee was there, but like after our committee had left and we told them that we were all good, it's kind of like just us three having these fun moments in Stevens and just kind of like enjoying the quiet space before like everybody comes rushing in. So I would say that was like a lot of fun of experiencing those quiet moments and also fun moments in Stevens, I would say.
Yeah. I can't think of like one like really solid one, but I'd say like last year on special events, like when we finally set up the fashions night out the night before the fashion show, and like everyone was coming in and saying like, oh, this looks so nice, and I don't know, I feel like that was just like a gratifying moment of like we put on this really cool event and we all worked together, and so I really liked that, like the collaboration part. And then just like a personal thing, I guess, is last year at the show, winning my Todd Snyder scholarship that's always presented.
Light flex on the podcast.
Humble brag.
Humble
I'm just
brag on the pod.
it was a very happy moment for me because my parents were in the crowd and Owen knew I was like hoping for it, and a lot of my friends in the crowd knew I was hoping to win that scholarship. And then
She cried. I'm sorry.
so no, I didn't.
should
Yes,
be
you
proud
did.
of that. That's
Yeah.
a really
No,
great
I know.
achievement.
I know. I'm just
Like-
giving her crap.
I mean, she exposed you earlier, so now
Exactly.
you have to expose me.
Exactly.
I didn't cry, but
Yes, you
anyways.
did. I'll leave it.
But yeah, that was just like a fun moment because everyone was on stage, and then I was just like, wow, I'm with like a bunch of people that I really appreciate, and this really cool thing is happening. And then I found out my friend Emerson, who I didn't really know at the time, had gotten the other scholarship, and we found each other backstage, and we were like, oh my goodness, congratulations! And now we're like really good friends, and I'm just like, there's just fun moments like that where like you get to connect because of your accomplishments and hard work. So. Yeah, I'd say those were my two.
I would say, like, to add on to that, because I said up until this year was probably my favorite moment, just because, like, I feel like this year is a different experience. Like, it's kind of its own thing of, like, you're trying to, obviously, like, it's stressful and it's hard, but it's also, like, these really cool moments that you get to of, like, obviously, I knew Becca from study abroad. We studied abroad in London together. And then we were on special events together. And we didn't really know each other before that. I think I maybe interacted with you once or twice because everybody knows everybody in the AMD program pretty much. But so I knew Becca coming into it. And like I had my 131 class freshman year with me and Maddie Roberts, that for other people, Rob for us. I knew Rob because she was in my 131 group project. So I knew her from freshman year, but Ross, I also was probably the one person that I had interacted with and I knew I vibed with, but didn't really know all that well, just because she was on design and like had all these other and wasn't in the same things that I was. And even though I knew Rob, it was different coming in. And I would say like this year has been a different experience because it's kind of like you're experiencing all these fun moments together as a way of like, you're experiencing it with the class, but like also there are so many hours that go into it outside of that obviously you love and you know going into it, but it's this whole experience that you kind of get to go through together. And I don't know, it's a whole new experience, I would say. So that's kind of its own thing this year, I would say. So yeah.
Okay, moving on. I'm just gonna ask you more about like your personal experiences, not related to TFS.
Yes.
So, what past internships have you had? I believe both of you were in New York last summer.
Yeah.
As fashion interns. You
Yes.
want to tell us more about that?
Go for
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, the Todd Snyder scholarship from last year's fashion show it's a scholarship, but it's also an internship. So you fly out to New York for the summer, and I was a merchandising intern, so I did a lot with their like I think it was the fall 25 assortment, I believe. No, fall 24 assortment. I believe. And then, yeah, so I had that last year, which was really cool being in New York. Owen was there, like a bunch of our other AMD friends were there. So that was a really cool experience being in like the fashion capital of the US. I also had an quote unquote internship the summer before that at a boutique in my hometown, which was far less exciting, but still cool because it's like, you know, a small business and like learning the ins and outs of a smaller business compared to a larger business like Todd Snyder. But yeah, it was cool. We did for the Todd Snyder one, we did like store walkthroughs, and I met Todd obviously, and yeah, it was just a cool experience. And yeah, I hope to go back to New York for my career. So yeah.
Yeah. I think also to know is like Becca and I, it was more like with experience of kind of smaller fashion brands.
Mhm.
I think Todd is like, in terms of the brand I was at, it definitely is a lot bigger than that because they own like floors of a building versus
Yeah.
like where I was at was like one studio space. So like it's different levels, like obviously like small brand versus like small brand. But like I entered at a brand called Voss it was located right in the garment district. And I found that internship through Jesse Stint, who won the fashion show, Best in Show, our freshman year. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I don't want to like, and she won the fashion show our freshman year. And I kind of knew her from that, but I applied for the internship because it was on Sci-Hire of all places. And I was like, why is a brand like this hiring from on
I
Sci-
hate
why is
Sci-Hire.
I got beef with Sci-Hire, but
I also
it helped me
do.
out this time. So like it was one of the times where something good came from Sci-Hire. And like
One
the
time.
brand, the internship was on there and Jesse posted on there. And I didn't know Jesse had posted it, but I had been contacting with her while I was in London. And she said, can you call like in the new year when you get back from London? I was like, yeah, 100%. And we got on the call and she was telling me about it. And she was like, oh, like I actually went to Iowa State, like blah, 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 blah. I was like, she was like, I won the fashion show. I was like, wait, did you win it my freshman year? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, wait, that's who you are. Got it. So that was a fun experience. And just like being at Voss in general was fun because the creative director, Christian Juhl Nielsen, he is a Danish designer and went to London College of Fashion and interned at Dior and then got a job at Dior after in their couture department.
So cool.
And worked with John Galliano and Raf Simons when they were creative directors at Dior. And whenever I was there, he would refer to them as Raf and John by first names because I feel like when you're at these designer brands, a lot of them, like they have like atelier and people that are just there to like hand sew garments for things, if that makes sense. But Christian was like actually a designer for the brand. Like there was a documentary that went out about like I think it was called Dior and I or something like that. I think it was on Netflix, something like that. But some of the clips you can see Christian like sketching in the background and stuff like that when they're interviewing people. And so that was cool to like learn that side from him because I've always been more interested in like the conceptual creative design aspect of it, but never had like a professional outlet like that as much as I did with Christian. And it was a huge learning process. And through that, like it was an unpaid internship, which overall I don't recommend for anybody that's going to New York City for a summer, but I was in a very lucky position and I wholeheartedly admit that where like I'm from the East Coast, I'm from Vermont. My dad's from Brooklyn, so I had family friends that lived in the city. So like I was able to live in New York City rent free, which again, not many I say that like as humbly as I can of like not many people are able to like from the Midwest would be able to kind of experience that of that way of like I realized I was very lucky to have that experience so that I could afford to have an unpaid internship is where I was going with that. But it was like a huge learning process and I learned like more than I've ever learned from just like that summer in New York. And like I got to go to like a couple like private magazine events because Christian is so well known, and like I did not deserve to be there in the slightest, and I looked so out of place. But it was fun. Like that was a fun experience, and I got to actually like drape and pattern and mock up and design some stuff that actually ended up in the spring 25 collection that they showed in this past fall runway show, which was really cool to kind of experience. And I got asked from Christian if I would come back and help work the show and help kind of guide backstage operations and stuff like that. So that was a cool experience. And like, I owe the world to that summer and that internship, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. So yeah. Sorry,
Can I tell a funny story about Christian?
Oh God, yeah, go for it, go for it. I was like, wait, which story? What are you gonna say
literally
here?
don't know him at all, but one night I was walking home from actually having dinner with Owen and our friend Emerson, and I like got to an intersection, and then there was some sort of like crash with a truck, and it was like blocking the road, and I was like, what's going on? And then this guy next to me like looked at me and was like, I forget what he said, but he was like, the truck is in the way or something.
It's a terrible accent. Oh my God, that's not even.
The truck is. I don't know how to do it. Okay, and then he walked away. But I like did a double take, and I was like, "Was that Owen's boss?" And I sprinted home, and I was like Googling like, "What's his name? Christian
Yule Nielsen.
Christian Nielsen." I was like, "Oh my God, Owen! I think I just saw your boss. Does he have these features and sound like this and blah blah?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I think I just like bumped into him on the street." And then he's like, "I'll ask him tomorrow at work." And then he asked like, "Oh, did this happen to you yesterday with the truck and there was a girl there?" And Christian was like, "Yeah, I was there." Yeah. So I just thought that was funny. Like out of literally the millions of people in New York, I ran into Owen's boss, the head of Boss, Christian. So yeah, funny stories.
But no, I think we both kind of not owe, but have gotten a lot from that summer.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it was really fun.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially like I know Owen, you're from the East Coast, but Becca, you're from the Midwest, and it's like moving to a place like New York for the summer.
Yeah,
must have been such like a different
environment. I live near Chicago, and I go up to or down to Chicago a lot. But like it's just very different. It's just when people say it's a city that never sleeps, like they mean it. It's just it's like it can be overstimulating, but also like a good overstimulating. There's just so much going on. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Okay. I know this could be a question that like most seniors hate, but do you guys have anything like lined up after this year or
goals?
Goals, yeah.
So anything lined up? No. Goals would probably be to move to New York and work for like a sustainable fashion brand. Since like I'm really like interested in sustainability and think that's the direction that fashion should go in. So hopefully a sustainable fashion brand in New York. Preferably brand marketing. I know I was like crapping on them earlier talking about guest designer, but I love like helping on like photo shoot sets and helping with like marketing materials and things like that, and like thinking of new ideas or like even part of brand marketing can be like making pop-up events and like I've event experience from doing like special events and like even like connecting, doing PR with like who knows, like influencers or other people, like people who represent the brand. I don't know. We'll see. But nothing lined up, but hopefully in fashion in New York would be the goal.
Yeah. I would say kind of the same route of like I don't have anything lined up just yet, but like we both studied abroad in London fall 23, and that was like it's kind of cliche to say it was like a transformative experience, so I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to say it like, oh, it's a transformative, it's so amazing, but it was like, and like that has been my main goal since leaving that fall semester was getting back to London in some regard, and so I would love to either go to grad school or find a job there. I'm applying to grad school right now to either to Central St. Martin's and London College of Fashion, because those are kind of a gateway for me to get there and also explore my creativity a little more with like a year or two more of school. I also with Becca, I like want to go into the route of sustainability because I don't know. It's important to me. And growing up in Vermont, that's a huge topic around everything. And like Patagonia is a huge brand in Vermont. Like it's a bunch of rich hippies in Vermont. So like we love Patagonia. And like also it's not everybody in Vermont is rich hippie. Like my family's just hippies. And like but like Patagonia is a huge brand, like North Face and all those like really environmentally friendly brands. And so like that's something that I've always cared about as well, and would love to go into something like that. Whether that is like I have a contact that used to work at Patagonia corporate, and I reached out to and was like, do you have any contacts there still? And so through them, I am now sending them my resume and my portfolio, and hopefully maybe finding a path to Patagonia. That'd be amazing. That'd be like my dream job because I never want to leave. I'm not a huge like California person. That's the one, my little like area that I'm not huge on, just because I'm more of an East Coast person. That sounds really biased. I don't dislike LA at all, but I'm not a huge California person. But with that, I think Patagonia would be a brand that I would like to go to California for, or that I would appreciate going to California for. But also on the other side of that, it's like the complete opposite track of like there are brands in New York City that are really conceptual and really creatively sound. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but like they're really conceptual and they're really creative brands. And I would love to be in New York City and be back there because I love that city and I grew up going there. But London is the dream. That's the plan right now until further notice. So, but
London's so cool. Like
It is so
I'm
cool.
studying abroad next fall at London.
Oh, you are?
Yay!
Okay, sick.
So I'm getting kind of really excited for that. But like, I wish that like the whole process of like getting from here to there would be more like transparent. Because I asked like Joe, yeah, that's his name. He was like, okay, we have to like nominate 25 people, and then the school has to officially accept those 25 people, but the school only takes 25 people. So I was like, okay, math isn't mathing, but I'm just like, if you nominate 25 people, I think those 25 people should get like a little
more leeway.
Yeah.
Where are you studying abroad?
London College of Fashion.
Oh, you are? Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Well, I think it was kind of I think they, okay, here's the thing. They kind of say that, and I don't know if it's completely
You
true.
should get in.
Like, what we were told is they kind of like, they nominate people, you're going to get it. Like, it's one of those situations where, like, they nominate people. Of like,
They
you're
said
going to...
one person in the history of ISU.
Yeah, I think we were told.
also-
Yeah, I think somebody told us they
Yeah.
denied like one person in the history of people applying there for ISU. So like you're gonna get in.
I'm like praying because like the housing on campus housing just closed down, like the application
Oh really?
contract closed down, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
Oh.
gonna be
They
homeless,
should
I
have
guess,
room
next
set aside for
semester if I
that.
don't make it in.
No,
but
you'll be
I'm
good.
begging, like, please, God.
And well, like UAL, I think UAL in general also kind of like loves Iowa State students because we send so many students there every single semester. Of like, we had a huge group go. I think we had like 7 or 8 kids.
7, yeah.
Kids, I say kids, Jesus. 7 or 8 people go. And like previous years, we've had even more than those people, like even more than that go. And they love Iowa State because they know that they get so many students, and they love our type of student as well because they know Iowa State people are a little more hardworking and want to prove themselves while they're over there. So, yeah.
I feel like that kind of comes with like the Midwest mentality because we get like pooped on a lot because like, oh, we're just the Midwest, but it's like, okay,
Yeah.
but we can do more than just like
Yeah.
what people think of us. So like, I think that's kind of where that mentality comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I'll say when you go to London, you should try to either get backstage for London Fashion Week or try to get into some shows. I went to some shows through something called Fashion Scout.
Yeah, same.
And they had some cool shows. And then I was able to work backstage for Claudia Wang and what was the other one? Was it?
Oh, it was more of like an Eastern Asian brand, right?
I think it was
Oh, I know what the brand you're talking about.
Indonesia Fashion.
Oh, Indonesia Now.
Indonesia Now, yes. And I mean, it was
Not
just
even
a
worked
lot
that
of
show and I knew that. Sorry.
working backstage. I mean, you basically are like steaming garments, and then like the Indonesia Now one, I was like helping Q model. It was honestly crazily unorganized because like people were supposed to be like tending to like I was assigned 2 models and everyone was assigned 2 models, but people were just like nowhere to be found. And I'm like, your model's on in 3 models and she doesn't have her shoes on. And like I was helping other people's models. It was crazy. But like literally as soon as you get to London, if you want to help at Fashion Week
Or even just go to shows.
or just go to shows, I would find that we just found the list of like all the shows that are going on and
like the PR.
just email them and we're like, can we work backstage or come to the show? And like we got some responses. So
because London Fashion Week is nice in that way of like voice crack, damn it, and damn it, of like Paris Fashion Week and like Milan Fashion Week are a lot more secretive. Of like they don't have an open PR agency list of people to reach out to. And like email if you can get into shows versus like London Fashion Week has a document that has like the people from each brand to reach out to get passes and stuff like that.
And it was like more laid back.
Yeah. And like we literally, I think I think you did it more than I did, but like we created like a spreadsheet of literally every single person on that list and just emailed everybody on the list of like, it was basically like a copy and paste message. Of like, we want to be involved. We're from this university. We're from London College of Fashion. Can you get us tickets or can we work backstage, basically? And just emailed like 70 people of if we could work shows.
Yeah.
There's a lot of denials and also just people just don't
just
answer,
don't
just
respond.
random students from UAL.
But-
So it's fine. But I would say that was a great experience as well.
Oh, that's really cool. Didn't even know that they did that.
Yeah. Also, don't sleep on the beans on toast. I know it's getting a lot of flack right now, but a full English breakfast is fire, and I will stand on that. You're making a face like you don't agree with me, and I don't appreciate that because we both went to London.
I didn't even try it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't try it.
We both got addicted to tea, though.
Yeah.
We all became tea people while we were over there.
Yeah.
I have like my little notes app of
We
London
would-
tea brands that I like to order from.
We would get our tea in the morning and then sit down and then play the New York Times games,
Yeah.
Wordle, Connections, and crossword,
And then
Those
attend
3.
our little lectures.
and then go to our online lecture.
Yeah.
That was the schedule. But anyways, enough about that.
Yeah.
Want to go to our fun questions, or do you have any more?
Let's go to our fun question.
Okay.
I don't know if I saw the fun questions, so this is going to be a
I saw
topic
a couple, I
exciting.
think.
Our committee members came up with a few fun questions to ask you guys.
Oh.
Clearly, they're not here, but no, guys, come on in.
I was looking back. I was like, wait, when did they get
Behind
here?
door number 1, the entire digital media committee.
Okay. So the first question is: if the fashion show were a blockbuster movie, what genre would it be, and who would star in it?
Oh, wow.
If the fashion show were a blockbuster.
Oh,
A
gosh.
musical. It would be a musical.
You would say musical.
It would be a musical.
Well, you have to choose a musical, though.
What? She just said what genre.
Yeah, what
It
genre?
doesn't have to be a specific movie.
Oh,
What
I
genre?
thought there was a
Okay.
I mean,
specific movie.
If you do have a
Do you have a
specific
specific
movie.
movie? And you can't
No.
say Wicked.
No,
Sorry.
it wouldn't be Wicked.
I know.
No, it would be its own movie, I think. But it would be a musical. And you said who would star in it?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, someone needs to play Sarah Bennett George.
Facts.
Someone needs
Who's
to
playing
play her.
Who's playing SBG in a
Who does
in
she
a
look
fashion
like?
show biopic?
Loki, Sarah Bennett George reminds me of Zoe Deschanel. So I don't know if she's like a musical girly Zoe Deschanel, but like I feel like Zoe Deschanel can be Sarah because I don't know, they remind me of each other. They've got that like twee vibe, you know,
No, I feel like I
like
know what you mean.
early 2000s or early 2010s ballet flats and like statement necklaces and like cute tights and like that.
Who would you want to play you? I'm terrible at actor names, by the way, so I can't really list
I guess
one.
since I'm a fake redhead, but maybe Emma Stone.
Dropping bombs on the
Emma
podcast. Fake redhead.
Exposed.
Yeah, she does it.
I'm a natural curly girl, but anyways, Emma Stone. I think
She's
that'd
got
be
short
good.
hair then.
Actually, Emma Stone.
Emma Stone,
Mm.
and like she does musicals, so I actually was just thinking she
Musicals should be
she
on.
doesn't even have La Land.
Oh, well, okay. I was thinking like Broadway. Okay, in my
Oh my
in my
God.
defense, I was thinking
No,
Broadway.
a
My
movie
bad.
musical. TFS would be a movie musical.
I know. I was
Oh.
thinking Broadway musical when you were thinking like Broad. Okay. Anyways.
And I'm ruminating in my brain like the songs that it would be, like
Oh, fair.
like
fair.
when committees are getting chosen and it's like a really dramatic song. I think it'd be like today's the day.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
So enough about that.
I
Your
would.
turn.
Wow. I'm a fantasy guy. I'm a nerd. So I want to see it. I want to do it like I don't know. Like I'm thinking like a Lord of the Rings fashion show movie is what I'm thinking. Like I don't even know how that would work, but I want to be played by Orlando Bloom. That's all I know. So, or if it's a musical, I want to be played. You're gonna hate me because I don't know the actor. Who's the guy that plays Evan Hansen? Evan Hansen.
Ben Platt.
I want to be played by Ben Platt. That's who I
a
want
crazy answer,
I
by
want to
the
be played by
way.
Ben Platt. Why?
Why?
I thought you were gonna say like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say
I love
someone
Ryan
like
Gosling.
extremely like I don't know.
I think Ryan Gosling is too
conventionally-
good looking to play me.
I mean, so is Emma Stone, but that's Hollywood.
I guess that's the point of a biopic. But like I feel like I don't know.
Okay. That's a crazy
I'm not
choice.
calling myself
to
like.
all my theater nerds out there, that is a crazy choice, and I know you all agree with me.
I thought that's a great choice because I feel like I'm a little bit weirdly goofy.
Waving through
A
a
window.
That's you.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was listening on. I think that's because I was listening to that song on the way here.
Mm.
So, love
Makes
a Ben Platt
sense.
choice, and he'd get a
Alright.
Tony from his performance of me. So,
Potential.
yeah. Sorry, that was a
That's-
wild detour.
Wait, Becca, you're not a natural redhead. Sorry to go back on.
Yeah, guys. So I'm sorry to let you down, but I'm not a natural
When
redhead.
did you start dyeing it?
I started to do ginger like honestly freshman year. The backstory is that I like to dye my hair because I have an identical twin, and so I wanted to look different from her. So initially, I have brown hair naturally, but then first I dyed it a bunch of colors, especially in high school, like in like purple, and I did rose gold, and then I went pink. I did pink for like a year, and the pink was like iconic. And then I did ginger, and then I did like a raspberry red sophomore year, and that was cool, but it really fried my hair. And then I went back to ginger. And I don't know, I like being, I'll probably go back to brown soon, but I have a theory that gingers like are memorable. So when I'm like interviewing for jobs, they'll be like, oh, the curly haired little orphan Annie ginger, like what was her, like remember me like that. So that's honestly the reason I'm still ginger.
You look like a natural redhead. Like,
Yeah, you
would've
do.
never
It's the
assumed
sparse
that.
eyebrows. It's the non-existent eyebrows that makes the. Actually, who called me Little Orphan Annie the other day? Was it you or
No.
someone else? Someone said I'm. Like,
I said you look
I look
pale
like
at
little.
committee photos. That's what I said.
No, we have this on record on the internet for the rest of our
I'm airing
lives.
it all out on the podcast. We're fighting on this podcast today.
Yeah.
We both look pale. We're both really pale people.
I'm pale like a Anne Hathaway Snow White kind of pale. IMO.
I'm on a pale and I'm a Scandinavian person and I can't tan type of way. So that's my type of pale. So
Can I say like a hot take? Like I don't think people need to be tanning. Like that's my hot
It ruins
take.
your skin.
Yeah, I mean, and it's
That is
also like
fair.
in other cultures, the people want to like make their skin lighter, and in American culture, people want to like tan, and I'm like, it's not to get all like up in philosophical here, but like,
go for it.
but it's literally just companies being like, you need to be tan, so buy this, or you need to be not as tan, so buy this, and I'm just like, girl, I don't want to spend money on a beauty construct. I'm not going to do that, and I also don't want skin cancer. So there we go.
That's a great answer.
Great take, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Take a sip of water. It was not, for the record.
What song off of Brat are you?
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
I know it's been like a Brat TFS year.
Oh gosh.
um,
I apologize. I don't know Brett by heart, and that's on me. I apologize. Go for it. You were talking. Need to look this
What's it
album up.
called? Girl So Confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because number one, it's confusing being a girl, and number two, it's like, I don't know if you like me. Sometimes I think you might hate me, and it's kind of I kind of like when I listen to it, I think about like me and my twin. Like we're the same, but we're like we get into arguments sometimes, and it's like I don't know if you like me. Sometimes I think you might hate me. Sometimes I just wanna be you.
Is
Sometimes
Charlie
you just wanna
XCX
be.
here or Becca Parker?
So Charlie XCX has entered the room.
Oh gosh, oh gosh.
It's bright, yeah.
You and
Anyways.
that English
I
accent.
think. I mean, she studied abroad, so.
It's
I
fair.
know. I really like doing impressions too.
I came back with
Like-
tea. She came back with an accent. What happened?
Can I do my Britney Spears impression
Oh
while you?
gosh, yeah. I need to
um,
figure out what song.
Oh baby, baby, I shouldn't never let you go.
Oh my
Wait.
god. Wait.
I love impressions.
All right.
Keep talking. I'm finding this song.
And then Ariana Grande. Well, this is Ariana Grande in Wicked. Fellow Aussians. Wait. What does she do? Like in her interview, she's like, "Oh my god, I love that. No, I love that." Like,
No, like
She's
the
just
high-pitched
like-
voice.
yeah.
The Linda voice.
Anyways, I
you
don't
have
know
it
if this
in
is
her?
gonna make it into the. Oh, there's definitely another I like to do.
Okay.
I used to do Barack Obama when I was like 10. A lot.
Don't do that, please. I don't want to. I like back to back. That might be
fits.
my. I also like. I don't know. It doesn't mean like there's no like meaning to that. I just like the song. That's a terrible
What's
answer.
your guys?
I definitely
forget.
like Talk Talk,
Yeah, that one's
especially
good.
the one with Troy Sivan. And
Don't even get me started on Troy Sivan. I love him
Please
so much.
don't get her started on Troy's
You just got me started. Sorry. Continue on.
played
sorry.
right into her hands in that one.
I did.
Literally served it on a platter.
I did. What about you?
Right now it's Guess with Billie Eilish
Oh,
on
God.
it. I feel like that
That's
releases like my
so
like
good.
alter ego of like a baddie, you know, or
Yeah.
something like.
Okay.
And then I like sometimes sing it in front of my boyfriend. He's like, Chloe, what are these lyrics? He's like, especially the first line. I'm like, I don't know.
I
It's just
love that
something.
one.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I
feel
think
like
that one's my favorite.
I put on like back to back when I'm like walking across campus and I want to feel like I'm model walking across campus.
Mm-hmm.
And I need
I
like
do
confidence
360.
and I need to like have confidence to walk by a tour of 50 people that just look at me like I'm in a zoo. So that's what I do. So that's
you should
why.
do like a walk to 360, and it's like 360 when I'm in there, do like what
Oh,
you see,
fair.
and it's like the perfect like walking tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Like
back to
on the
back isn't
beat.
bad though.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
but that's fair.
Seeing Charlie XCX in April, so.
Low-key,
there
I
you go.
kind of want those like people on like those college campuses on TikTok where it's like, hey, what song are you listening to?
I really
Like
want.
I
yeah,
want someone to
do.
just come to be
No.
like, hey, what song?
But I'd be scared because I'd probably be listening to like Man or Muppet from the Muppet movie.
Big
And
ups,
they're like,
Man
what
or
are you
Muppet."
listening to? And I'm like, it's just like really underground. You wouldn't know it.
I'd lie if I was listening to like Man or Muppet. I'd lie on camera.
Yeah, I would. I would.
They're not checking
I'd
my
run
phone.
Away.
They just take my word for it.
It'd be like, DJO,
I low-key
run
think
away.
about that every single day I walk across campus. I'm like, if I get stopped right now, I'm definitely lying about the song I'm listening to. Like, I would have to say like an actual like good song, because I was listening. What was I listening to today? Give me a second. It was
Defying
a musical
Gravity?
song. No, it was the better song from Wicked.
The Wizard and I.
Yeah. Hot take. That might be a hot take. That's the real song of Wicked. Is Wizard and I. That is
I
better
don't-
than Defying Gravity. Hot take.
I'm not gonna disagree. That one's good.
I was listening to it's literally all musical songs. Oh gosh, I was listening to the Sing soundtrack.
Okay, that eats.
I
Wait,
was
the
lis-
one with the
with the
like,
animals.
singing
The
animals.
Yeah.
gorilla singing "I'm Still Standing." I used to listen to that all the
Yeah.
time freshman year.
I was listening to "Don't Worry About a Thing" from Tori Kelly.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's
Don't worry
was good.
about it.
That elephant.
Happy birthday. You know,
I was
Happy
like, she didn't need to go that
birthday,
hard.
dear grandpa.
She quotes that like I feel like you quote that like
Happy
every day. Oh my
birthday
gosh.
to you. Yeah, I do it a
I was
lot.
listening to "I Know Him" from Hamilton.
Oh, shoot, I don't know
you
that
know,
one.
I've been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack a lot.
It
It's
just
good.
always hits.
Lin-Manuel
Go
Miranda
ahead.
is a genius. I love
He's-
him.
And you know the movie Rio?
Yeah.
Oh
Listening to that
yeah.
song, Let Me Take You to Rio, that song.
Come on
been
now.
on repeat.
Yes.
Speak on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, and
yes.
like Encanto too. I love like we don't
Oh,
talk about
yes.
Bruno. The part where the guy's like, 7-foot frame, right so long as that. Like, it's
Yes.
so satisfying.
I
Why
listen to
do
Co-
kids' movies have such good songs?
Like Coco. I'd be listening to Coco. I'm not gonna lie.
Coco's a
That-
good one.
So good.
Even like that last song, where it goes up into the fireworks in the end.
Oh.
No, no, not. But yes, also because it's Coco. So, but sorry, that was a wild. Just taking a wild detours, but that's okay.
Tangents.
It's fine.
That's the point of podcast.
I know.
Good point.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, so with the Maddies, Edgar like wrote down the hot takes you guys said at the beginning of the year, and we just want you to explain why.
Okay.
Like Owen, you said milk is goated.
I can
and
take up
then
the
Becca,
last.
you
I
said
can.
the Notebook is mid.
Yeah. Oh, I said The Notebook wasn't that sad.
Go
You
for
can
it.
explain-
I'm gonna
okay.
take a while, so you go first.
Okay.
I can talk about this.
Maybe
won't,
I'm
though.
just apathetic, but like, I don't know. I thought the ending was kind of sweet. Like, it didn't really make me cry. It just made me like, oh, like, I don't know if I don't want to spoil a movie for no one's seen
It
it.
came out like 13
But
years
like,
ago. If you haven't seen
they-
the Notebook
they
yet,
ended up together, and they were like, they love each other so much. They ended up together. Like, I don't know. I was kind of like, I sort of saw it coming, and then like, I don't know. I thought it was sweet. And I don't be like bawling. You know what? The only movies I'll bawl to are like renditions of Romeo and Juliet for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
expected that answer from you. You don't know why? Come on.
What?
You're
Oh,
a
I-
musical person.
But Romeo and Juliet
Not a
isn't
musical,
a musical.
but like, anyways, you're a theater
But Rachel
person.
Zegler and West Side Story. But yeah, I don't know. The Notebook was just like I thought it was sweet and a good story. And I don't know when people are like, I always bawl to The Notebook. I'm like, you already know what happened though. Why are you still bawling? Maybe that's so mean to say, but
Yeah, Chloe and I were talking earlier. We were like, it's not like that sad. Like, I don't think it's life changing.
and like honestly, can I say same with Titanic too?
Owen, why do you think milk is goated?
Okay, I was a milk kid, and I will stand firmly on this hot take of milk is the best. I said top 2. It's the best drink of all time. And this is a picture of me in London guzzling milk in the kitchen with
you use that
Birkenstocks
verb?
on. Just, you know the picture.
Yeah.
They put this on our for the people that can't see it.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I
To the
went
listeners, it's Owen drinking straight from the.
a half gallon of milk straight
gallon
from the
of milk.
gallon. I had a milk. Did you guys? Okay, I had a glass of milk with every dinner.
Dinner?
Yeah, is that
Oh.
weird?
A little
I had
bit,
a
but
breakfast.
I never.
Okay,
I'm not like a milk drinker.
okay,
Well,
because I had to go for it.
actually, okay, this might be weird, but I went to this daycare when I was like younger. They would always give us milk. That's what good daycares do, give you milk. And and like I guess I've grown like appetite of like every time I eat like especially like those garlic crusted pizzas, I have to drink milk with it.
Yeah,
Like it just won't be good without milk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's just like how my daycare was like. Every time you get a meal, you're getting milk, and so it just kind of grew on me. And I'm like, wow, this is good.
yeah. Come on, it's great with just anything. I need strong bones. I need I love milk. It's great. If I could afford to drink a gallon of milk every single week, I would. Next fashion show class, I'm showing up with a half gallon of milk. Count my words on that one. I'm drinking it.
Okay.
I'm going to, trust. I know this is coming out after that week, but insert a picture of me drinking a half gallon of
do
milk
that.
at fashion
You
show.
do
We'll have like
that.
a proof picture at the end. Did in
Um,
fact bring milk.
But I don't know. I love milk, and I will stand on that until the day I die. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, I guess.
Period.
One more question or two. Just curiosity. What are you guys wearing the day of the fashion show?
You go first.
I feel like it should be a secret.
Oh.
I'll say.
Oh, like, are you
I'll
guys, like-
say
Did
the
Rob and
color.
Ross say?
They said like they're kind of matching, but they didn't say like what exactly, like the style or what color they're wearing. They just said like they're
Oh,
matching.
Got it.
I'll
Okay.
I'll say the color, which is really unsurprising. Pink. It's pink
Yeah.
because I love pink. So
At first, I wanted to do something that was in line with my senior line, and then I wanted to like make my suit. I realized was not gonna have time to actually do that like last week, so I'm ordering a suit. And what I'll say is there's polka dots involved. Not the suit itself, but there's polka dots in the look. Think Omar Apollo at the Oscars. If you
Okay.
saw that look, you saw the
I
look.
know what. Yeah, I know. What
Think
you're
that.
talking about.
Think that. Because I don't know. My style is a little more like with events and stuff like that. I feel like it's a little more feminine. So I wanted to incorporate that a little bit. So
That's good. Like something a little bit more fun
yeah. Well, at
than a
first,
typical suit.
exactly. And like at first, I was just gonna get like a black suit, like a black double-breasted suit and wear like a bow tie, and like a white button-up shirt. And then I texted to my mom, and she was like, she was like, that's really boring for you. And I was like, damn, okay. Like, I thought it was okay. And then she was like, no, this is really boring for you. And I was like, okay, I guess I need to change that. So, yeah, there's polka dots. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But
Well, thanks for joining us on
Thank
this
you for
episode.
having us. It was very fun.
yes, thank you.
Great conversations, funny memories, funny stories.
Yeah.